And finally tonight, the House of Representatives today voted on a measure that changes the definition of full-time work, a full-time work week that is, when it comes to health care coverage. Hampton Pearson takes a look at the first big battle of the new Congress.
A challenge to the employer mandate triggered the first clash in the new Congress over the future of the Affordable Care Act. Republicans introduced legislation changing the definition of a full-time work week from 30 to 40 hours per week, claiming it will save jobs. This is the first year the employer mandate takes effect. Under the current 30-hour work week standard, employers with 50 or more workers must offer health insurance or face fines of $2,000 to $3,000 per employee.
So guess what's happening? Businesses are cutting workers' hours. They're keeping them below 30 hours to avoid the penalty. It's commonly known as the Obamacare 29ers.
Democrats argued raising the mandate trigger to 40 hours opens the door for businesses to walk away from their obligation to offer employer-based health care.
This bill says this is the blueprint for business to shift all their employees onto the government. Very simply, close the building at 4 o'clock. Now everybody's only worked 39 hours, right? Go home.
Small businesses, particularly fast food restaurant chains like White Castle, say the actual increase in health care costs makes cutting hours a necessity.
So for us, what we were facing without changes to scheduling was a 35% increase in our healthcare costs if we didn't modify in some way. So we've had to take a surgeon's precision to our scheduling.
But even some pro-business conservatives say this particular cure could be worse than the disease. Analysis of data from the Small Business Administration finds about 29 million employees at large firms work at least 40 hours a week, while only about 7 million work 39 hours or less. A 40-hour threshold puts 4 times as many people at risk of having their hours cut and losing their health insurance.
A better approach would be for Congress to cut the employer mandate entirely.
The bill is now headed for the Senate, where Republicans have work to do. Lobbyists supporting the bill say they don't yet have the 60 votes needed to bring the measure to the floor. And the White House has served notice that the president will veto any legislation that changes the current standard. For Nightly Business Report, I'm Hampton Pearson in Washington.